Well guys, here is a brand new HOI4 After Action report. This is only the second one I ever did, when I did my Turkey one back in May. So this is not the first time I beat the game as Germany, but this is the first one I've ever recorded. And of course, played Germany. And of course I did a strategy because historically, other than that one time like I said back in 2020, no matter what I would do, I wouldn't be able to invade like Belgium through France. I wouldn't be able to invade Belgium or France because they'd always just keep pushing me back and pushing me. It was like really irritating. So I did all the normal stuff beforehand, invaded Poland. But I also did a strategy too beforehand, which I fought the other night and I've been trying all day. And that is, of course, it's probably not going to be able to see in my industry because it's so massive. But those are like my starting industry. So what I did was, instead of building light tanks, I went straight to heavy tanks. And I had one general, where was he at? This guy right here. Must have lost a lot of troops to get down to 20. But anyways, I just gave all my tanks to this guy, start off with like 6 tanks. And after destroying Poland, what I did was, for my strategy was, I had the general with the tanks right here on Luxembourg, and had one general up here in Belgium, and I had him plow through Luxembourg. And this time around, to my surprise, Belgium just got invaded completely. France couldn't stop me. And I had Italy join the war beforehand. I did that, but even all the times I did invite Italy into the war, they still wouldn't get pushed back. So that made no sense, but I managed to plow through. It took a little bit of time, but I finally managed to take over Paris, and France gave up. And in the UK, this is weird. It was both really annoying and really easy at the same time. The annoying part was getting the invasion set up. First, I had to stop an invasion of Benelux right here, which I managed to quickly do. But then I had this annoying problem where it took me like a half an hour to actually get the invasion set up multiple times because stupid game mechanics just wouldn't do it. But then when I finally did it, I don't know what happened to the British because they really didn't have much of an army. Once I sent my 6 tanks over, they just plowed through. My main stack, I had 2 stacks invade. I had a stack invade, I think, down here as well. And they really just invade with not really any resistance, which is another thing that I've never had to deal with in the UK. Always kept getting obliterated when I tried to invade them. So yeah, invaded them. And then, of course, after I did that, I went and got ready to invade the Soviet Union, but they attacked my faction member, Estonia up here. So it ended up, I joined in an offensive war, and of course, to make matters worse, Spain went to the Republicans in the Civil War, so I had to have a 2-front war there. So we invaded, and I did the same strategy with the tanks, just try and focus on one area at a time. And at first it went by really quickly, but after a while it became a slugfest, especially since Finland was taken over, so I had to attack them as well. And then for some stupid reason, after doing a good job invading Spain, they all of a sudden started pushing me back and getting around my troops, so they invaded like all the way up to here in France before we finally pushed them back. And then we took on the Soviet Union, and we had to push deep all the way up to like here before they finally gave up. And then as soon as I peaced out with the Soviets, Japan attacked me. So I had to quickly throw all my troops across the Soviet Union over into Asia. And Japan, for some reason, didn't really invade much. Manchuria only got like this a little bit bigger, but I eventually pushed them back. And of course, I got America to become the CSA, so that made it interesting. So we pushed through Manchuria. We pushed through somewhat into North Korea right here. I actually invaded Hokkaido in Japan up here. And the CSA invaded the rest of Japan. So we eventually split it all up. I took all of Manchuria, Korea. I took Hokkaido. Yeah, wait, no, not Fukuoka. Kyushu, there we go. Fukuoka's a city. Kyushu's the island. And yeah, I split up Japan like that. And China took all their stuff back. So yeah, that was nice and all that. Then after that, I went and started invading all other European countries. The CSA invaded Denmark for some reason, so I joined in, took over Ireland, Portugal, Norway, Sweden. I actually eventually invaded Bulgaria, Hungary, and Romania, I let them take over like all of Ukraine, and Estonia too had all the Balkans. I took over most of Europe. Then I decided to go for no, I went for Afghanistan. Then I went for both Iran and Romania at the same time, and they joined China's faction. So I had to quickly take them over, and that's why I dropped the first nukes across Ukraine and in northern China right here. So it took a while to take down Iran because they had so many troops, and China of course pushed into like all around here. But after that, once I took over, Romania was really quick. Iran, after a while, was taken down. Then it became a massive slugfest for like 2 years, I would say, invading Western China and then stopped them from right here and stopping Japan too. Dropped so many nukes across China, but eventually they fell as I invaded northern Japan once again. Italy took over central Japan right here, formed like a frontline state for most of the war, and I eventually gave up and I took over all of China and Japan. And then there was one task left, and that was because that's right, I took over Canada too in that war too because they joined China's faction. So it took a long time with my small stack, but I eventually took over all of Canada and then set up the big goal, America. So I literally sent all my troops over to America. All of them. Planes and stuff everywhere. I built up like crazy because I could build so much stuff right now as Germany. Like the build rate is really fast. So I invaded and I dropped down like honestly well over like probably 70 nuclear bombs across America. And despite having massive disadvantages, they were just invading through, which really had no issue. Like, I had no trouble invading this part of America. Got slow a little bit down here, like in California and all that, before eventually turned around, became quick. Got, like, bogged down, like, in this area. Eventually, we slowly kicked them out of, like, Maine. Eventually kicked them out in Boston. We started doing encirclement stuff right here. Then they started pushing us through right here for no reason before we finally started pushing them back. And then, once we got down to, like, Southern California, that's when it got really fast. We took them out, destroyed... Wait, no, it was like 60 troops, I believe it was, wiped in California. And then we stacked like over 80 stacks in Arizona. And after that, they just like melted away, took over like Texas, Louisiana got split up, all this part of Florida got split up, took over DC, and they just got obliterated. And of course, went overtime, and I finally ended the war. I actually still might continue on with this game just for the satisfaction of trying to take over the world, but this is the final game in terms of the actual score. And of course, my final score was 4,406, which easily destroys my high score as Turkey with 806. So now, I'm actually going to continue maybe playing Germany over a while. I'm going to keep trying the same strategy over and over and over and over again, and see maybe if I can figure out, because that worked this time around. And hopefully it continues, and then maybe try it out with other countries and see if that will work. Alright, so hope you enjoyed that AR video. See you all next time.